Greetings, St. Paul's, and blessings on this Thursday. Today I come to you from the side of our chapel, where the three signs are located. You may see that we have two new signs up this week. Come by and check them out. I begin with a disclaimer. I am not a biblical scholar, and those who know me will not be surprised at that fact. But I have been inspired over the years by the many people who I've been in relationship with who are biblical scholars. I would like to mention in particular my Old Testament professor, Dick Corney, may he rest in peace, and my New Testament professor, Deirdre Good. They were very adamant about the fact that we needed to pay attention to not only the content of the scriptures, but our lens in reading it. Professor Corney, in his first class of the year, first class, first year, first day, said to us, always remember that you're reading the Old Testament with Christian eyes, with 20th century Christian eyes. Of course, that's a while ago, so now it's with 21st century eyes, and with Bibles that were not in the language it was originally written. So with that said, today's reading from the daily lectionary comes from the book of Numbers. It is a particularly interesting reading, and I commend you to look it up. You can find it if you have a Book of Common Prayer. Look for the readings for this week. If you have the app for the e-prayer book, it'll show it to you. But it is where God tells Moses to take the staff of the leaders of each of the tribes of Israel and take it into the tent of the covenant, where God will mark one of the staffs as the one to belong to the one who is to lead Israel through the time of peril. Aaron ends up having the staff being the one that's marked. I invite you to look it up and to be fascinated by the ways in which God reveals God's self to God's people over time. Many of you may say, oh, these are allegorical stories, or, they're fantasy or whatever. I just think that they're fascinating stories of how God reveals God's self throughout history. In the same way, I believe that God continues to be revealed in the world today. All we need to do is pay attention, to look for the signs, to listen closely to how God is speaking. I am not going to say that every single thing that happens in the world is a direct message from God about God's wrath or anything like that. But I do believe that God is present, God is acting, and we need to pay attention so that we don't miss the signs that God is putting before us. Blessings to you on this Thursday, St. Paul's, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.